Hello, my frenzies. Denise here from Caesar, and I totally screwed up today. I've been jacking around this Microsoft camera so much that I must have inadvertently turned off the speaker, and I didn't realize that until like trying to edit this thing a bazillion times, and then realized maybe I should go up there and touch it. So I touched it, and now it's working. I hope. Yeah. Oh, shit. No, so I checked it again, and I guess it's doing really well. Sorry for the cussing, but this is not a kid-friendly show. So what ended up happening with the last piece that you saw there, if anybody saw it, was that after the cameras rolled and I was all done, I was looking at it, I was like, that's not my vision. That's not what I see in my head. So I gutted out a whole bunch of stuff, and the skies were gray and everything was dismal, and I thought, I better put I need a sky in there to guide me. So, to guide me to, whatever. No. So on the right side, you're going to see cerulean blue with white. And as we move over to the left side, you're going to see ultramarine blue and white. And that's because I ran out of the cerulean on the palette. No. That, and it should be a little darker where your light source is not coming from. And it will not be coming from the left. So that's going in there, but this guy is a nothing burger and is nowhere near done anywhere as if this piece was done, right? So right now I'm kind of mixing up my sky colors, and that's when I decided to go with the ultramarine blue and go back in there. And it's important to for me personally to have my sky in there, because when I grayed it out, if you notice from the very original image before we started, you really don't, you're looking at just a nothing burger. And here I wanted to kind of make a demarcation, like to get those two crusty what do you call them? Oh shoot, I'm drawing a blank. See, it's late now. You're asking me to think. The trees themselves, and gnarly trees are old and they're ancient and they're gorgeous and they need respect. And this one in my head is so wonderfully spider-like, it's ridiculous. So up here I'm using ultramarine blue and white, and again my medium of choice, because I want to paint, I want to go in and paint tomorrow, is Demar's lavender medium. It's a varnish, but it works as a medium. Now, it is not Demar varnish. Now, Demar varnish is a very different medium. That is something you do not want to mix. It's not a medium. It's a varnish. But the one that I'm talking about is, let me get it, and I'll talk to you while I get it. Okay. Not only does it smell fantastic, but it's healthy. Well, it's healthy in the way that it's natural. It's a safer natural varnish for oil painting, okay? It's made with pure Demar resin and lavender spike oil essence. No carcinogenic fumes, no petroleum, no turpentine. Alright, now because I am an encaustic wax painter and I use Demar resin, I crush that shit up and I mix it with beeswax and stuff. and then I add oil paint for color, the smell is off the charts. I love it. That's why I love winter. And I'm still waiting for winter to come so I can pull out my stuff. If you notice, it looks like I have a fork in the road, and I'm just going to get rid of it. I mean, what tree looks like a fork? No trees look like forks. So again, I'm removing limbs, and it's okay. There's a duck. Duck goes bye-bye. Bye-bye, duck. Now we have a, what is that? I would say a woodpecker if it was red on the top, but because it definitely looks like something coming out of there looking at you. But that white in there is just to remind me that that is a dead center. So it's okay to use colors that you are not going to be using for your final piece to tell you what and where you are going with your work, right? And that's basically what I'm doing here. I am using color to separate and illuminate areas. Now the sky, I really, I love the sky. The sky is my big dealio, but it's not the real sky that's going to be in there when it's all said and done. I don't know what that sky is going to be, but I'm going to make it blue and white for now, just to give me an idea of where my tree is at. And so I'm really happy with that. And you see my thing is my paintbrush is basically saying, I see where we have limbs. I see where we can go with the limbs coming off of this dead part here. And of course it's not dead, every tree is alive, but and I love those two bits in the back. They're like shadows. I don't know who you are, but I know my shadow. And so pretty much in this reel, we're just doing the sky. And the next reel, we're going to go ahead and add limbsies. But my light is too bright up there, so that is not really as bright white as it looks. It is not. It is just not. So sorry for the head. I have to learn about my new camera configuration and put you a little bit more above or get my ass behind. But hey, I'm 62 years old. Where's my grays? No, I'm happy about that. So I'm happy this is where we're at. And ciao bello, my friends. See you soon. Alright, my friends, so now what we're going to do, and this is a voiceover because my audio is not working. I want to put in limbs. I'm just thinking about limbs. Limbs, I don't care. It's just put the limbs in and worry about it later. And what's cool is I have a bunch of colors here that are different, so if I want limbs to go under or over, I can figure that out just because I've color-coded the limbs that are currently in there that I haven't, finished, and I'm really excited. So I'm going to use a limb, whatever, pointy kind of, and I'm going to use a medium, which is again the Damar varnish, and with a little bit of Gamasol, because the Gamasol gives me the texture, and this whole piece is about texture. If you haven't seen it, we'll rub our fingers on it one time. It started with cold wax, and it continues to get cold wax on occasion, but right now this is about twisting out some limbs. So I'm twisting my brush, right? And I want that brush to come to me, at me, right? And I'm using all different weird colors, bright colors, whatever I can find to separate it from the limbs that are currently there, so that by the time we get to coloring our limbs, we're going to know who's who, who's what, and where they live. Where do you live? I live under this one. Okay, what's your address? 396 3rd Avenue. That's where I grew up, and the building number was 396, and it was on 3rd Avenue, 28th Street, and we lived on the fifth floor, and ironically, that is the one of two buildings on the block that were denoted as historic, so they're still standing. Yes, how cool is that? And the one next door was where my grand-mère lived, and then my godfather lived, and where I moved into when I was 16. You know, that was a free apartment because it was down, you know, everything went down to the family. And to see those two buildings still there, surrounded by these huge monsters of apartment buildings was weird. I put my Oculus on and I was walking around going, oh my God, that's where my sister and I sat on the windowsill, and some stranger came running up 5 flights of stairs and busted into the apartment and pulled us off. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm twisting my brush because the way I see a gnarly tree is it's twisted and gnarly, and I'm using different shades of color down through here so that I can figure this out tomorrow. You know, it doesn't have to be the exact color that you have in mind for your tree. These are just my block in colors, and they could be purple if I wanted them to be, and you know, maybe I'll do that because that might make it easier for me to see them. But I really like the direction that they're going right now. So I'm going to add a little bit of contrast to the areas of the dead tree that I know that I'm going to be hollowing out. Yeah, we're going to hollow out those 2 bits right there. And I'm just going to keep going on this with the colors. So, excuse me. So they lifted the mask mandate in the kitchen for the first time. It's been 3 years. And so today I went in and I had my mask on and I was like, oh, it's a homemade mask. But it was okay to take it off. And I was so... the feeling of freedom was ridiculous. Although I did feel naked, but what I realized was that at work now, because I wear progressive lenses, I could see through the proper lens, because the masks always kind of ruin that for me. And I don't know, it's just a wonderful thing. I am fully vaccinated, like fully boosted, and my mask was you see here what I'm doing is I'm taking a darker color and bringing that branch over a lighter color branch that I had created, right? And that's kind of a guide for me. I'll tell you what, if I ever do this again, and I will, I'm going to use even bolder colors. Maybe my branches will be purple and yellow or whatever. Yellow for underneath, purple for overs, I don't know, greenies for unders. I don't know, because we can paint the color and the texture of the branch when we're done. You know, there's no hurry for that. So I'm still eyeballing and figuring, and what I like about the final product, my friends, and that's, you know, is that we're gonna have those branches that come out at you, those branches that lap over each other and kind of cradle the earth underneath. And who knows, maybe there'll be holes in the tree where the foxes live. But of course there will. For anybody who's actually keeping track, there are 2 people living in the water. One is a child, and the other one is a guide pointing to the tree. And I don't know how that shit got in there, but if you do a close-up, you'll see them. And trust me, I will exaggerate their presence because they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous, and I don't know how they got there, but they have every reason to stay. And that's the beauty of painting. And there's also some guy here in the weeds to the far left, and he's also looking up there. So we'll figure this out. That's the joy of this, my friendies. Look, see what we did. Look, we just added a ton more stuff, and it's gonna be great. And don't be afraid. Never be afraid. Because, you know, good shit comes in time. It does. It doesn't have to be a plein air. It doesn't have to be immediate. Okay, my friends. I love you. Ciao, bella.